In this episode I want to cover patch 1.1, which is a slightly larger patch than some other patches, and also I want to give you a short update on what I've been doing in CivIdle. So patch 1.1 is called A Tale of Two Civs, which is named this way because there's two new civilizations, Canada and Russia. Now, before I get into the details of the patch, I do want to mention that Fishpond put a little bit of text in the beta version of the patch, talking about how he's going to work on some other projects for a bit. I don't want to hang my own interpretation on this, so if you want to read more about this, go to the beta patch 1.1 and read it for yourself. Now, as I said, in this patch, the two new civilizations are Canada and Russia. And I want to go over Russia first and then go over Canada, because I've had some more thoughts about Canada than about Russia. So here is Russia, which is a 50 by 50 map, nice and large, and also in line with the new sizes of the civilizations, where it's based on the countries and not the cities anymore. Now, the special buildings are a building that gives you extra spacecrafts. In the late game, I don't usually need a lot of spacecrafts, so this might might allow me to build one fewer buildings, giving me one happiness, which isn't a huge impact on the game. Now, the Gizi Pogast, I think, is quite a fun mechanic, where the production multiplier it gives to buildings surrounding it is based on the production multiplier this building receives. So you can try to maximize all your production on this one building and then kind of spread it out over some buildings around it. Now, I haven't been able to get a huge amount of production bonus on this, but maybe if people play around they can find some nice combinations. Then we have Hermitage, which you can upgrade an infinite number of times, and it gives more storage to buildings surrounding it, which I don't use a lot of storage, so for me this isn't too impactful. And then Sputnik allows you to upgrade Cold War great people. I think this is quite nice because I use a lot of Cold War buildings for the resources of the Information Age buildings in the late game, and so this would allow me to build a couple fewer buildings, giving me a couple happiness extra. And then the academic Lomonosov, which gives power. Again, not very... It doesn't really align with my playstyle. I don't do a lot with power, but you can upgrade it, which is fun, and get a lot more power, which... yeah, I don't know. It's a new mechanic, and that's always nice. We have the lake, which gives... oh yeah, a building capacity multiplier based on the number of wonders surrounding it. Building capacity multiplier isn't usually something that I'm limited by, so again, not super impactful. Because of these special buildings and wonders, for me, Russia isn't a huge game changer civ. But now I want to get back to Canada. So I think Canada is quite interesting because the first building, AI Labs, gives you CivGPT, but twice the base production of the normal CivGPT building. And in the late game, I produce usually my empire value with planetary rovers, because they also produce 2, and that gives a lot of empire value. But in order to not have them fill up, I also build CivGPT and Peace, where I upgrade the Dyson Sphere. And now I have to build half the number of CivGPTs, which will really save me like maybe 100 happiness or something, because I build a lot of CivGPTs late game. So I think this is very impactful already. Whoops. As you see, my playtime is still not at 1500 hours by this misclick. Then the next building, the Chateau Fronatac. This wonder can be upgraded, and it gives it gives you the choice of 3 random buildings, and then gives all those buildings a building level boost. I think this is a fun mechanic, something new, and it does really help you, since late game you have a lot of production multiplier, and then building level really complements that. And then the habitat. This wonder can be upgraded a bunch, and it strengthens AI labs. Again, one of the buildings that late game I really need. So I think this makes Canada one of the strong contenders for one of the better late game civilizations. Then Aurora Borealis. This wonder gives a production multiplier to buildings that do not produce population. And this is based on when it is discovered. So if you do a long run with Canada, which you might want to do because it is so good in the late game, this just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And I'll quickly show you. I'm doing a Canada run now, where Aurora Borealis is. This is the other one I want to talk about soon. You do see that it starts off with 3 hours at 1, 3 hours at 2, 3 hours at 3. But then later on it becomes 4 hours with 4, 4 hours with 5, etc., etc. So it does slow down the upgrades, which is logical, otherwise it would just increase way too fast. Then the Lake Louise. This makes all trade map neighbors become allies. I talk about this in my run, so I won't go too deep into it here, but it gives you some extra bonuses, which is nice. And then the Dinosaur Provisional Park. I also like this a lot, because if, again, you do a long run, which you want to do with Aurora Borealis, just before you rebirth, you can claim your Cotti and get a nice extra great people boost just at the end of your run. So I'm really curious to see how strong Canada is going to feel. See, the upgrade is Chateau Frontenac and Habitat 67. So this isn't super special in a sense. Then we go to the quality of life changes. So there's some balance changes, not too impactful. Quality of life changes, you can play around a little bit more with your to-do tabs, which I've liked the addition of the more customization in the top left. I use it a lot to balance my CivGPT piece and planetary rovers, and now they are building further onto that. And also your empire value tooltip gives you more information, so if you want to look at some of your run statistics, you don't have to go back to your main building. And some bug fix about cross-platform saving. So yeah, I didn't plan on making a video for every patch, but this one was a little bit larger, and the mention of maybe moving on to different projects made me want to make a video on this patch as well. Now I'll quickly go through what I've been doing, and yeah, then I'm just going to continue grinding on to 1500 hours, later on to 2000 hours, and continue increasing my effective great people level, which is now at 1612. Australia with 1440 extra great people. England with about 2000 extra great people. Australia with 1350 extra great people. England with 2280 extra great people. Rome with 1230 extra great people. England with 2000 extra great people. Russia with 1788 extra great people. And also, this is my first World Trade Organization vote, where you vote for what tiles you see on the trade map more. What I was looking for was the Space Center. I didn't see any Space Centers to vote for, so then I'm probably voting for Peacekeeper. I could also vote for Nuclear Missile Silo, but I have way more Peacekeepers, so I think this is the best vote for me since I'm pretty late in the game and I'm just using Peacekeepers, CivGPT and Space Centers to upgrade the Dyson Sphere, and I want mainly Space Centers for the Empire value increase per second, since they make 2 planetary rovers, which gives more Empire value. As I am playing around with Canada, which I think is a pretty good late game civ, I noticed that AI labs give twice the amount of CivGPT on default as the normal CivGPT producer. So you need half the buildings for the same amount of CivGPT, which I think is really strong. And so when I was looking for a good trade tile, I usually look for Space Centers. I saw that they were full. I thought I would look for some Peacekeepers to balance out the CivGPT a bit and try to get a spot where I can be a neighbor of a Space Center, since a second feature of Canada which helps here is that all your neighbors are automatically an ally from one of your natural wonders. So as you see here, the Space Center is from a neighbor of a different country, however it is an ally, and then later when I upgrade this bonus with one of the somewhat newer wonders, this bonus will only increase even more. So yeah, playing around with Canada is a lot of fun, and I'll continue doing so.